All right, time once again for Up Close and Personal here on The Horse's Mouth. Of course, we're at Tommy Max. And, man, we've got a great guest for you. It's Steph Lincoln. She is the founder and CEO of Fire Team Whiskey. It's a workout company that's geared towards first responders, military, and our veterans. Steph, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thanks so much for having me, Tom.
It's
I'm
an
a huge
honor.
fan, and I know it's going to age you a little bit.
Yeah.
But I used to watch you on TV when I was a kid.
Oh, no.
On the field.
Okay.
I was the biggest Jaguars fan when I was a kid.
All right.
When we first got the team. It was very exciting.
We were a good team back then. Hopefully they can get it going.
Well, I'm always rooting for them in my heart.
That's good. Now we're having beers at Tommy Max.
Absolutely.
Cheers. Thank
Cheers.
you. I appreciate that.
Who would have known I'd end up having a beer with, with Tom McManus?
First and foremost, thank you for your service. God bless you. You were telling me offline here that you enlisted while you were in high school. At 17 years of age.
I rose my right hand, 17 years old.
Wow.
I mean, looking back now, pictures, I was a baby.
Yeah, I bet. You were 10 years in, right? 10 years in the military?
I did 10 years.
Okay.
And then I always say I feel like I never left because, a year after I got out, I was hired right back in to actually basically ramp up the psychological health services in the military and for the Florida National Guard, to be specific. So I did that within the medical field for the next 10 years, and then I started my business last year. So, I have, 10 years in service, and then I'd like to say 11 years out of uniform, but still serving the military in some capacity.
Well, before we get into Fire Team Whiskey, real quick, you're 17. How did you make that decision to go and serve our country?
My parents sat me down one day and said, "How are you going to pay for college?"
Okay.
And that was it.
That was it. It's a great way to go, obviously.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, my father was a Marine and sailor. He did 30 years.
Okay.
All my uncles and grandfather were in the Army or Air Force. So I came from a long line of military members. I was the first female in my family to join the military.
Well, cheers to that. What'd you say? It's International Women's it's Women's Veterans Week, right?
It is Women's Veterans Recognition Week.
Cool.
And so
cheers to our women,
all the women veterans out
including
there.
my mother Joan.
Absolutely.
Who's going to be 88 next month. But all right, so tell me about Fire Team Whiskey, the military fitness protocol that you put together. You're talking, I know you train all types of people, but you base around first responders, military, and what you learned in the military, how you work out in the military. Tell us about Fire Team Whiskey.
Yeah, so I started Fire Team Whiskey because I noticed in my service as a medical health professional that our ranks were getting healthier and unhealthier and fatter. So, I was noticing that these young guys who you expect to be in the prime of their life and the health of their life were just, 50 pounds overweight. They're on cholesterol medication and high blood pressure and aches and pains, and it's really seems to become a trend. And we hear about the obesity problem in in our nation in general, but what most people don't understand is that the obesity problem has saturated into our military ranks and our first responder ranks. And most people don't know that 54% of our U.S. military wearing the uniform right now are overweight or obese.
Wow, no kidding.
And 50% of our firefighters who die in the line of duty die of heart attacks. So this is a question of life or death with our service members and the people who are serving our country. So they deserve a better way to conveniently, get their fitness in, of course, be as fit to fight, which is what one of our mottos is, but also have it to be a sustainable lifestyle. So if you're doing shift work as a fireman, I don't have to worry about getting to a gym. I can do it right there in the parking lot at the firehouse and be fit to fight and not have all of these chronic health conditions that may put me at risk of having a heart attack on one call.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I always tell people I love to work out, but it's not always the physical, it's the mental. it really does help you. It helps me with like business relationships or other relationships, thinking about deals, thinking about ideas, thinking about how I'm going to interact with somebody. You know, while I'm working out, these endorphins get going, and then on top of that, you feel good about yourself. Look, we all know it's easy to get in a rut out there, right? You get a little overweight, you're not motivated, you get depressed. Next thing you know, you're 30, 40 pounds overweight. You don't know what to do, how to get back. I have to imagine you're the military and the first responders and the veterans. What may intrigue them is getting back to what they used to do, right?
Yes.
You're training them like you used to train in the military or however they're training out there in with firefighters and police, right? You take them back to that. Maybe that ignites something. Is that part of the makeup?
Exactly. And that's why I called it a fire team. And people ask me this all the time. Why fire team?
Yep.
Whiskey, because I love whiskey. So, I mean, who doesn't?
Right.
But
So do we. We love whiskey on this show, don't we, boys? Hey.
So, yeah. So the fire team, it gets back to the concept of fire team. And, you were on the Jaguars. You were on, sports teams. It's basically kind of the same approach.
Yep.
It's a fire team is the smallest element in the military. It is the 4 or 5 guys and gals that I spend all my time with.
Right.
And we each have a different kind of set of skills, right? But it makes us strong as a group.
Right.
And we can accomplish the mission together as a group.
Yep.
But we're also kind of cross-trained. So if one man goes down, we can continue our mission, right?
Yep.
So where you're weak, I'm strong, etc. So that's how I built our Fire Team Whiskey program, was to ensure that we had a lot of different people on our staff, also peer-to-peer. So all of our trainers are military members, veterans, and first responders. Yep. So they've been there, done that. Yep. And they can work with you as a peer in their strengths, but also drawing upon what your strengths are. So we're not, telling you that, that you're just dumb and you can't figure this out.
Right.
It's educating you, working with your strengths, and also tailoring our program to fit your life, right? Yep. And you don't see that in box gyms, right? You walk into a box gym, and they couldn't care less what you're doing in there. They're just, as long as you don't sue them and you keep paying, that's all they care about. They're not checking in on your goals. They're not checking to make sure if this, location is convenient for you, or this program's convenient for
works,
you, or if it's even working, so you never hear from them again. So I wanted to do the anti-box gym kind of approach, and make sure that we're on, when you join Fire Team Whiskey, you're on our fire team, and we're walking you to your mission accomplishment.
Well, and it's that high intensity training, right? That interval training for the most part. I would imagine you're doing something really physical, like whatever, push-ups, burpees, sit-ups, pull-ups, whatever. You're pushing something, and then you take a little break, and then you get back into it, and then you take a little break, and then you get back into it. To me, that keeps it fresh. Like, I don't want to go on a 5-mile run. I'm not built for running. Now, some people are, and that's fantastic, and that's great for you. But not everybody's the same. And I feel like when we're talking military and, first responder, I think of like athletes. They're similar, right? We like a certain way to work out. I'd rather do sprints. I'd rather go outside and run, 100-yard sprints than go for some long jog or something like that, because it keeps it fresh and all that. And it sounds like you do that as well. As we wrap up, I know you're a big fan of the keto diet.
Yes.
And I know you encourage your clientele to try it as well. Tell us why the keto diet works for you.
So the keto diet came out of me being frustrated with my own health and fitness. And I was, believe it or not, 30 pounds overweight. And I was having the same struggles as our veterans. And I discovered, just kind of by circumstance, the low-carb, high-fat diet. Now, so Fire Team Whiskey, we have a couple of eating plans that are based on keto. And it really was out of the fact that I believe it saved my life. And the conditions that I thought I had because the Army broke me, right? I no longer have. And I think a lot of military members, veterans, and first responders fall into that mentality where we feel kind of like helpless. That we can never feel good again because we feel like our service kind of broke us and we have these permanent injuries or health conditions. And I wanted Fire Team Whiskey to encourage you all who are thinking that that's not the case. That a lot of times if you're just being smart about your fitness and smart about your nutrition, a lot of these things that you thought you were going to have to deal with for the rest of your life will actually be mitigated or completely go away.
Right, right. Well, you know, at the end of the day, moderation is the key in everything, right? You can't eat all day. You can't drink all day. You got to balance it, right? You can't eat junk food all day. You got to balance. You got to have good food. You got to have, I have it all.
Yeah, and it's about education. And one of my passions with Fireteam Whiskey was our Warrior Wellness program. We have health education. I bring in experts from every field imaginable.
Okay.
I interview chaplains on spiritual health, clinical nutritionists about how to read labels, which most people don't do.
That's right.
Even just the mental aspect, what you were just talking about. I always say, if you expect permanent change on the outside, you need to start working on in here.
No doubt.
And in here.
Yep.
Because those are the things that get in the way.
Right.
We all know what to do. It's really not rocket science, like fitness and nutrition.
Yep.
But it's the way we self-sabotage and react, emotionally to maybe our high-stress jobs. So we know our military members and first responders fall into that category. So we need to work on this as well.
Yeah. And I think they go hand in hand.
They do.
Getting in physical condition can help you all throughout and vice versa. All right. How can people find your location at Fireteam Whiskey?
So Fireteam Whiskey is actually amazingly virtual.
Okay.
So, yes, all of our programs are virtual. We have hundreds of fitness videos.
Okay.
We have an app. It ties into your Fitbit and your MyFitnessPal. So all of your stuff is in one place.
Okay.
We even send you a digital scale to do your body composition so we can see that while we're training you. You get your own virtual personal trainer who's a military member, veteran, or first responder.
Kidding.
And then you get our whole Warrior Wellness series with all that education, and we have Warrior Fuel, which is our cooking show.
Okay.
So we have our own exclusive Fireteam Whiskey recipes.
That is so cool. Steph, I didn't know you were just virtual. That's very neat that you put that together.
So,
all right, fireteamwhiskey.com and the number 346-3270. Is that correct? 904 346-3270. So great to have you on the show. God bless you. Thanks for your service and best of luck with Fireteam Whiskey.
Thank you, Tom.
That's awesome. Yeah, great stuff. As always here, a Jacksonville business doing great things out there in the Jacksonville community and beyond. More to come right here on The Horse's Mouth from Tommy Max on Buzz TV.